Before we begin, please note this episode contains emotional abuse, manipulation, and coercive behaviour. Near the end, there is also a non-graphic childbirth scene involving a brief moment of newborn distress. The timestamp for that particular scene is listed in the episode description for anyone who would prefer to skip it. Please take care while listening.
Romancing the Dungeon is a softcore D&D podcast about heroes navigating their daily lives while looking for love in a world full of peril, monsters, and heartbreakers. This show is intended for mature audiences as it contains adult themes. Hey, Ivan, or Nate, or Hephaestus, can I ask you a question? Content warnings for specific episodes can be found in the episode description.
We'll find our way in the game that we're playing. We won't be pushed over. Let's raise the sea.
Are you lonely, miserable, or just plain horny? Well, you've taken the first steps to solving your problems. At least your dating ones. My name is Roz Grapers, founder, CEO, and love wizard. And I'm joined this evening by a very special guest, Ajelius Steele, wanted criminal, former Night Scout of the Gaelshire Army. Ajelius, how are you doing?
You catch me at a difficult time, Roz. I'm searching for love. And I believe that's your business.
It is, and I don't know why you're meddling in it.
Well, I'm not trying to meddle. I'm just trying to consider it like a case study. A proof of your business and skills.
What exactly are you looking for?
Precisely, specifically, Fia.
The dud. No, we've recast her. Fia 2, the new improved dud.
Are you talking about Clodagh?
Who the hell's Clodagh?
Well, yeah, she's actually headed off herself as well, so we don't even have Clodagh.
Wait. So who's the dud now?
I don't think there is.
Oh, probably Hephaestus, you're right. Well, you heard it here first, everybody, from the mouth of Ajelius Steele. Hephaestus Tinderson is the new dud of the group.
Roz,
That's all we have time for this evening, Ajelius. Thank you so much. You've got to get back to being on the run. Join us next week when we'll be interviewing Marigold Wolver III.
Oh, I actually need to find her too. Evening, spring crest, direction north-northeast. Some habits are harder to shake than others. Hopefully this can help me gather the threads of my thoughts. Personal log of Ajelius Steele. I've been guiding us through the Dragon's Back Mountains towards the town of Boudoir, a suitable resting point en route to Visage. Bless the gods for my familiarity with these lands, for my mind is 1,000 miles away, in the land of dream. Here's what I don't know. Fia's location, the meaning behind Kappa's prophecy, and what lurks beyond that door. Who the Taro are and their intentions. What role we play when it comes to the whims of the gods. Here's what I know. I am the son of Marigold Wolver III, otherwise known as Mary, the eldest of 3 Night Hag sisters. And it is there that I intend to start finding answers. End of log.
You are gently nudged by the firm, wet boot of Hephaestus' foot. It's time, AJ, for you to swap watches, and as you kind of see Hephaestus just kind of like drop herself close to the fire's edge and kind of looking out across, the both of you staring out from the very, very shallow cave that you have managed to make into a shelter. There's not a lot of room, and the The day had been spent mostly in silence. Leaving Clodagh and watching her set out on her own, the weight of what's in front of all of you kind of dragged the energy, both sort of physically and mentally. You didn't cover it nearly as much as you had anticipated or hoped. Nate and Hephaestus, unsurprisingly, are not built for scouting, hiking, mountains, walking, actually, it would seem. And though nobody said anything, it's clear neither of them are in the best of humors. Hephaestus doesn't say a whole pile as she acknowledges that it's her time to cover. You can see very little beyond the edges of the small little campfire and the light that sort of wafts out of it. You know this terrain. You know these mountains. You know them as much as you do the four corners of your own bedroom back in Gaeltyre. And yet there's something almost alien about them now. It's like they've taken on a new look or a new. Maybe you're seeing them for the first time through fresh eyes. Maybe it's the worry. Maybe it's that Fia could be hiding, could be lost, could be anywhere here on the Dragon's Back Mountains. As those thoughts sort of just rinse around your mind and you find your eyes kind of growing heavier, the light from the fire kind of just dimming as your eyes shut, you can hear chatter and music. And there is a large, pale grey wall, large windows with sort of engraved and embossed window frames that have sort of a gold edging to them. And you find yourself once again in the plane of dreams.
This is unusual for AJ.
He's just adding full
crackling fire.
Yeah, crackling fire. Yeah. Thanks, Gaspar. We have the crackling fire. Did someone just put a new log on?
Yeah.
No, we're good for crackling fire. Thank you. If you don't appreciate my art, I'll go over here and shit in these sandals.
This is unusual for AJ. As far back as he can remember, which as he thinks about it, isn't actually all that far. He's had the same experience every night when he goes to sleep. He doesn't dream. He thinks of cascading snow and screams and church bells and shattering glass. But it does twig. He's potentially outside where he was. He's at the interior of the bar he was in before when he first found out the truth about who his parents are. Or rather, it was confirmed, because I think somewhere deep down he always kind of knew, based on how he was treated. And he slowly approaches the door and thinks to himself, okay, time to get answers, time to find Fia.
Again, it's one of those things of as you kind of like ready yourself to kind of go in, the door appears. It was just a wall, and you could see the windows, and you can see shadows inside kind of moving. This is where the sound is coming from. This is where you can hear people kind of talking to themselves. The door just sort of appears, and you step in, and everything goes quiet again. Not empty, but the folks that are inside all sort of stop and kind of turn to look, and you see that all of them are wearing like long, heavy veils. Everybody has a mask over their face, and they do just sort of turn to look at you, And then everybody kind of turns back to their little groups that they're with or they're talking to. Nobody pays you any mind.
Now this feeling is familiar because AJ, in his traversing of the Dragon's Back Mountains, a lot of the scouts would take the same route every time because they just like the routine of it. Whereas AJ knows the mountains because he likes exploring. So he's well used to stumbling across small towns that don't even have signs or names outside, and walking into a local tavern and being the not local, but fast becoming friends with people. So he does what he always does, which is slowly make his way up to the bar and try to get the attention of the barkeep.
It is that thing, like, you move up, or rather it moves to you. It's quite strange here. You do see that there is, again, one of these veiled figures with kind of that white ceramic mask and a painted face on it, just sort of at the far end of the bar. And they kind of give you the nod, but they're obviously with other customers. And stood here, rather, you do see that there is all manner of bottles sort of sitting on these shelves. And you do see sort of different kind of swirling liquids or things moving inside the bottles. As you sort of stand and wait, like, people are kind of, these entities are coming and going. Give me a wisdom saving throw.
Ooh. Yeah. It's not good either way, but let's add my wisdom. A total of 5.
Okay. Out of the corner of your eye, there's something there. There's a shadow. You have the frightened status.
Right.
And paralysis. You find yourself just sort of, it's a thing of unable to turn any further to look at it, but there is something just there, and it vaguely humanoid, vaguely sort of, maybe slightly longer arms, maybe a slightly longer neck, but just there, like in the periphery of your vision.
He suddenly realizes how unfamiliar. It's that strange thing of, okay, we're scouting. This is just like any other mission, just a strange new world. Let's explore it. And he thinks back to the nightmares of the hags and how terrifying, even though he held it together for his friends, how terrifying he found that whole experience. And it dawns on him how far out of his depth he is. Nothing in the Galeshire Academy trains you to scout in dreams. And he tries to steady his breath, but it's sort of, he's trying to take deep breaths, but he keeps catching, and
water starts to fill the room.
I can't move. I can't turn. But is the barkeep still in front of me?
Barkeep is still kind of down at the corner talking to the other, and nobody seems to be paying attention to the water that is filling this room. And it's not just like, oh, there's a little bit of water around kind of like your feet. It was at your ankles. Now it's at your waist, and it's just rushing around you.
AJ tries to speak, but he's entirely paralyzed. His mouth doesn't move. But he doesn't always talk with his mouth, so he tries to connect mentally with the barkeep to send a message saying, "Hi, my name is Ajelius Steele." He thinks for a second. Maybe it isn't Steele. My friends call me AJ. I'm looking for someone here. I'm lost. Where am I? What is happening? And am I in danger?
You feel the water now kind of just below your chin. You see it spilling over the side of the bar. Again, everybody around you that you can see isn't reacting, isn't responding. And as you feel the water kind of fill your lungs, a mouthful of it, the reaching out, the barkeep turns, and then you feel something stroke under your chin. In your own mind, you hear back, "Oh, darling, the service here is absolutely dreadful. You're going to want to probably think happy thoughts."
That comes easy. AJ thinks of Fia immediately. He thinks of the warmth she brings to his life. He also thinks of the things about him that she seems to like. His relentless optimism in the face of danger. He also thinks of his training in the Galeshire Academy. They didn't teach him to scout in dreams, but they did teach him, if you ever find yourself knocked from a bridge, plummeting towards water or a river, the trick is not to panic. Don't gasp out. Don't thrash around. People who keep their cool survive in dangerous situations. And he thinks of how happy everyone's going to be with him when he finds Fia and he reunites the party. That feeling from the day before of Hephaestus and Nate being a bit glum. He's like, this is just temporary. We're going to all be back together. We're going to figure this out.
And then you just give, okay. You, such lovely little thoughts of yours that you have. You dim it 60%. It's a little bright, and the water is gone. But now the room is just filled with this light. Like, it's just this really, really radiant light, just kind of emanating around you. I just think of the mood, think of the ambience. Dial it back a little for me, darling, please.
I think AJ goes, okay, I'm thinking of friends I have. Maybe 60% down is friends I've yet to make.
The light diminishes around you, and like the interior of the bar is kind of everybody is kind of staring at you now, and the bartender has kind of moved up and just is tapping on a sign. Keep your subconscious in check.
AJ looks at the word subconscious. What could that possibly mean? Below conscious. I'm unconscious though, because I'm sleeping. Am I unconscious? Okay, conscious thoughts. You know what? And he thinks of Nate and how Nate is just sort of cool with the vibe without giving across any sort of outward thoughts. And he just sort of tries to emanate that, where it's just like, I'm in a room and I'm comfortable in it.
As you think of Nate, you hear music that it changes. That the music that had been there was a kind of soft piano playing. Now it's a bit more up tempo. It's guitar and lute, and the vibe, the energy in the room shifts a little bit. The bar goes from this sort of hazy piano lounge to now a bit more of a sort of a small, low key, underground, cool. You don't know it, but like everybody knows. Everybody who should know knows. Dive bar type thing, and not only does the energy change, the ambient change, but the surroundings shift a little again. And instead of these figures in veils and masks, it's a bunch of kind of goth kids and emos and tryhards and rockers, all kind of just in the same positions, but just and then you just hear tap, tap, tap on the sign again.
I look up to the sign, same sign. He has started to realize or begun to think that the magic he was casting before potentially wasn't coming from his bow, which he always assumed, and is coming from him. So when we were in the catacombs and he was like, we need an AJ here, and it happened. We need an Hephaestus here, and it happened. And he didn't even think of like mold earth as a spell, as more something Like, he's not an idiot, but he's very naive and takes things at surface level, like a dream. It's like, that's the truth now. So therefore, that's always the way. He never knew that Mold Earth was a spell. He just thought it was a skill they taught scouts. He was like, yeah, that's what we do. All of that comes into his head as he goes, oh, okay. And he realizes that his mood, his thoughts, his mind is shaping maybe not this space, but his perception of the space. And other creatures, he's thinking they're strong enough to see his perception, not that he's affecting theirs. So he just returns it to the place he met Marigold, with the boots and the bar and the patrons. I believe they were kind of all shapes and sizes, all creatures, great and small, not kind of veiled. So he just kind of thinks of that and goes, I don't need to impose my will on this place. This place can just exist with me in it.
As it shifts again, you hear that voice once more. This time, not in your head. This time, coming from the bar, and you just, as you hear it, it's just, oh, darling, 3 strikes and you're out. And as you turn to face it, walking along the top of the bar, there is a purple cat in pajamas, like long flowy pajamas, and just kind of like a drooping kind of collar, and her eyes are just these 2 swirling balls of light. And you wake up.
AJ breathes in the sort of, did I sleep a full night? Yeah, it looks like dawn's breaking.
You hear Nate and Hephaestus snoring as well.
He kind of gets up, looks around, makes sure that we're not in any immediate danger despite setting
Give me
watch.
a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. 13.
Like, you can smell kind of the remnants of the smoke from the campfire. And you, again, your eyes kind of adjusting to the light of the sun rising over the peaks of the mountains. The cold on you, out of the corner of your eye, there was something there for a second, and a shiver runs down your spine.
He takes a deep breath, relieved that he can take a deep breath. Gets up, changes, leaves the cave, and begins his morning exercise, which is a series of kind of slow, gentle, I suppose in other words, like a kata. He's trying to get used to the mace he took from Temperance. He no longer has a sword, which he was practicing with. And I think we see AJ comfortable enough to take a morning jog around to clear his head and think about the night's events, and try to puzzle out AJ's always followed orders, and orders inherently to him mean action, and he's coming to the conclusion that actually inaction was the move there, to stop affecting the space, to stop pushing his will, to stop trying so hard. And so he comes to the conclusion at the end of his jog, if I end up there again, I'm just going to not think. And weirdly, not thinking is a place he's like, great, I can do that. I can just zone out. As he notices that, like, towards his last couple of kilometers, or I don't know how far he runs, he's healthy. He goes for long jogs. That he hasn't been thinking, he's just been doing and just been living, and how he feels here in the Dragon's Back Mountains, comfortable at home, not in need of anything, is how he should feel if he can make it back to Dream.
With kind of an empty mind, the plan seems clearer. Heading back to camp, you find Hephaestus and Nate arguing over rations. for some reason, like it seems as if the events from the day before, with kind of a rest, they seem to have returned to themselves, for the better or worse, you don't know. But the day rolls on, and the journey deeper into the Dragon's Back Mountains continues. The night comes, watch and plans for who's taking what shifts, with a real emphasis on we have to keep watch, we are wanted. There are search parties, both Visagian and Galeshire, in the mountains that appear to be looking for us. You take the first and the third without the need to sleep as much as the others. Dream doesn't come to you. It's one of those things where the harder you try, the more difficult it becomes. And the following morning, it's much of the same. You notice, AJ, the weather is beginning to turn. This isn't anything out of the ordinary for the Dragon's Back Mountains. Storms are the norm here. And the only thing that kind of breaks this day from the previous is you spotted a Visagian party. A group of their guards, scouts, again traversing one of the kind of the, we won't say popular trails, but one of the better known passages. The landscape is very much just sprawling, rolling hills of snow. And you know from your time here, you know from your training, you know from talking to people who live here, you can't always trust the path in front of you. Sometimes a blanket of snow freezes over and it covers a pit. It covers an abyss. And keeping an eye out for scouting parties, keeping an eye out for dangers, keeping an eye out for a false path, you find yourself on edge. Nate and Hephaestus are Nate and Hephaestus. You kind of, when someone moves in, like you're like, we're friends, we should definitely live together, and they move in, you're like, oh, yep, that's a way of doing things that I definitely don't have a problem. That's sort of the endearing charm of Nate, and that the kind of the nature of the relationship between Hephaestus and he. It's grating, yeah, is the word. It's starting to come, because being still, being quiet, keeping low, keeping out of sight, these are fundamentals. These are the exact opposite of who or what Nathaniel Obsidian McKnight is. And several times you have found him playing the lute, just to kind of almost keep himself busy. If you were keeping watch, he is keeping everybody distracted, and those two things don't work. So tension, for you at the very least, is starting to build.
So what comes to mind as these personalities clash and begin to grate is he's been trying to teach Hephaestus and Nate to be AJ, and actually trying to teach them to be themselves, but a version of themselves capable of crossing these mountains seems smarter.
Keep going.
And so,
sorry,
yeah,
I'm just taking my phone out to do something real quick.
Oh yeah. So he wants to teach Nate the song of the mountain. He doesn't know the words; he just knows the melody. But it's a low, rumbling, simple song. It's a sad, melancholic song about a mountain and the heart of a mountain, and how that heart is built of stronger stuff.
I'm just going to wait for a response to a thing I sent to Amber and Sam.
Cool.
So, because they're not here right now.
Yes. Yeah.
Who taught AJ that song?
That's a really good question. I think the mountain taught AJ that song. as in he heard it on the wind. And it's just the amount of times that the kind of howling of a, he's like, there's a note to that. And as he moves through, it's almost, if I can be a little bit flamboyant and showy, which I don't mean to be, the speed in which he traverses played the winds at such a pace in which he suddenly found the tempo. And he was like, right, if you can make your way across the way that dwarves would naturally be able to, although he never goes deep, I don't think. He's never kind of, if he goes through a cave system, it's only surface level. He never goes down darker. But that's where he hears it most.
It's one of those things that sort of, you could let the emotions get the better of you. You could let the frustration get the better of you, but that doesn't serve anybody anything. And maybe it warrants a conversation later. Deep within the Dragon's Back Mountains, there's a stirring, a rumbling, as a crew in the Underdark rise and begin to work. And it is hard work. It is back-breaking labor, but needs are must and mouths to feed. They sing a song of toil and hardship and the value of a day's labor. And it rumbles through the mountain as these Underdark folk take hammer and pickaxe, and they carve and they dig and they sift and they carry. It travels through reverberations through the mountain, whistled through the mouths of caves, carried on the wind. And you feel sort of a peace with it. Evening, as you make camp for the third night. Surveying kind of the mountains and your position, you are still, at best guess, 2-3 days from Boudoir. You recognize the jagged cliff of the Hanged Claw. There's another village here, the village of Nice or Noise, depending on which, are you Galeshire or Visagian. And there's a temptation, maybe we go here, but you see kind of the tiredness in Hephaestus and the toll it's taking on Nate. And in a small little camp, in a just off this path, you make fire, and a little bit of food is prepared. Nate continues to sing that song, and he takes first watch, and you find your way back to Dream.
I feel this time I'm more grounded, almost because there's sort of an audio anchor to a place that I feel just naturally comfortably at home, and I carry that with me into Dream. And without expectation, without imposing will, is it back in front of that bar?
Mm-hmm.
I walk into the tavern.
And it's like any other tavern, any corner of Galeshire or Visage that you have stepped foot across. And again, people, before you walked in, people stopped, and there was that weird silence, and then they turned. You walk in and no one pays you any mind. It's as if this is your place as much as it is theirs. But as you step through the door set on the bar, you see this purple cat, a little scrawny, wearing pajamas that are a little too long, like the sleeves tend to trail. They've got a little nightcap on. Half the fur on the right hand side of their head is just jagging out, as if that's the side they've been sleeping on. And just with a yawn and a flex of her claws, and there's a jangle of the collar around her neck, she kind of looks at you kind of with very, very sleepy eyes. Give me a religion check with advantage, only because it's one of those things of, hang on, I think I know her.
A 16 in total.
Yep, you know them. You know who she is. You've seen carvings of her. There's no temples, but you have seen carvings. Most, particularly Brogue, in their orphanages, in any of the dormitories, there is often a statue of Nelunisa, the goddess of sleep, and often depicted curled up, sleeping on the right side of her, like her head kind of resting on something. She just rolls her back, and you do see like her back legs like cocked up as she kind of stretches out. And she kind of just, oh darling, lovely to see you again. I will just remind you, 3 strikes and you're out again. So less thinking, more doing.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is your... I don't want to impose.
Oh, no imposition whatsoever. This is mine. This is yours. It's ours. It's all of ours. It's a... collective stream of subconscious.
Yeah. Well, good dreaming to you. I was going to say good morning or good evening or good night, but I suppose here it's just good dreaming, because people sleep all times of the day.
You could say hello.
Oh, hi. Yes, I'm... do you know I'm Ajelius?
I know who you are, Ajelius Steele.
You can call me AJ.
Okay.
Have I ever been here before? Not... I don't mean the other evening, but when I was younger, or ever.
We don't get much of your sleepers here. It's kind of reserved for beings who like to dream. That's not to say that you can't. If you couldn't, you wouldn't be here, obviously. Do you want to go through the door? And like she turns her head, and one of her back legs comes up and just kind of does scratch her ear, and you see it's pierced. There's a couple of earrings jangling, and she kind of, her head turns to the right, and you see a stone door with 3 masks on it. They are upside down and smiling.
Do I want to go through that door there?
I mean, I personally wouldn't, but it's your dream.
If you wouldn't, I'd actually like to hang here with you, if that's okay. For now, I might leave through that door, but if there's no rush, how does time work here? Does it work here?
What's time?
Yeah, good answer. The first time recently I came here, I didn't feel rested. Is that just a normal kind of, I suppose, if I travel too quickly between Visage and Galeshire, I get sort of temporal lag. I'm kind of living on Visagian culture time, and actually Galeshire moves a little differently. Is that kind of like that?
Sure. And she hops down off the bar.
Do you mind that I'm asking questions? I will stop if you don't want, because I have a lot.
She's moving kind of around, like it's like you see her kind of move to one of those kind of like a table where there's a bunch of people sat around, and as she kind of coils under the chair and kind of between the legs, you're watching her, but then she's near the fireplace. It's like she seems to be shifting around the room. And it's one of those things where in dreams, like the sequence of events, the passage of time is, it just seems to be like, it's just like these segmented chapters. And at one stage, she's sitting on a table, like, and kind of all kind of rolled up, half out of it, and yawning. Oh, questions. Certainly, ask away, though. I guess, yeah, it should be fine. It should be fine, darling.
I mean, I really have... The questions I have aren't really for you, but I'm hoping... Maybe that's a good one to start with. Do you know my mom? Her name's Marigold Wolver III, I think. But she goes by Mary sometimes. She looks... Well, she's a little bit like you sometimes, sort of rough and ready on one side and really put together on the other.
Her leg is cocked up and she's cleaning herself.
Do you know her? She's a hag.
And a couple of people stop and move away.
Agony aunt. She's an agony aunt.
The wall behind Nelunisa, you see the wooden paneling crack and bend inwards, and vines and earth sort of begin to creep out and fill the space, and a cold energy just wafts out of this dark hole in the wall.
And she's a mom. She's my mom.
Marigold. Oh, yes. Yes, she frequents this space quite a bit. Would see her with her... I haven't seen her with them, though. Her sisters.
Yeah, they passed.
That's... Oh, sad.
I think it's really cutting her up as well. I need to talk to her about it.
Oh, she's not here, darling.
Right, yes. So questions for you. I know you. You'd probably know this. You're painted on walls in orphanages to help us sleep.
Oh. I'm quite the busy kitty.
Do you know, or are you a first one? Are you the one who dreams?
Her ears perk up when you ask this, when you say that. A lifetime ago, 1,000 lifetimes ago, all in the past.
What do you think about love? Do you believe in love and love at first sight? Is love a sort of dreaming?
So many questions. I like to think of this place as a melting pot of emotions. All kinds are welcome here.
Okay. I am Marigold's son, but Marigold, I think, is of you, which means that I am of you. I think I'm one of your realm. Am I from here or am I from the waking world?
I can't say I see the resemblance. And now she's on the bar looking into a mirror, kind of with you kind of behind her. And she's like, it's the thing, she's looking at her reflection, but she's looking into your eyes through the mirror. I'm not... Marigold isn't... I'm a caretaker, not a maker.
Oh. Is there a maker?
Oh, I would certainly hope so.
Okay. Yeah. Do you have any questions for me? He runs his hand through his hair, if allowed, synchronized with his god licking their hand. It's like, so the resemblance, I mean, like, don't see the resemblance, like, yeah, we're not both preeners.
She looks at you. Oh, I think you should wake up, darling.
I suppose there was a question mark. Oh, and AJ wakes up.
And like that, Hephaestus is just shaking you like, it's wake up, wake up.
It's a nightmare.
What? And then she just took her punches.
God damn it.
It's day 4 and there is a snowstorm. No, not nothing that would deter you from continuing, but there is a flurry of snow just sort of whirling around the mountains.
If AJ knows of any like out of use mining tunnels, he might see or look for a way to kind of bundle us into a cart to sort of the fear of
Are you Donkey Konning this?
I wouldn't mind a little minecart madness.
Quick, don't get the bananas.
I'm going to turn into a rhino.
Give me a nature check.
Cool. My thinking is that speed in danger is good. Moving too fast for the nasties to get us. 17 on the die. My nature must be. Yeah, it is good. So it makes it a dirty 20.
It's not that there's nothing immediate here. It's not, oh, by the way, there's just a tunnel right there that we...
Let's take the metro.
Why didn't we do this the whole time?
Oh, you don't have your passes. That's
oh, that's what it is. Yeah, and it's really difficult to register for them online. What's that? Don't ask. Best not to go beyond the curtain. You vanish. Like it's that thing of you let them ready themselves, steady themselves, and just getting a better lay of the land. And rather than dragging them up, because that would take longer, it's that up a hill, and more of a clip face, but it's a hill. Like
I'm glitching out by jumping.
It's that Skyrim hack. If I just keep jumping and I just keep jumping, I'll eventually get to the top. But you've a better sort of position up here, and this again, the hanging claw. Is further in the distance, but the nature of the mountains here, they are more of these jagged cliff faces and sharp outcroppings of stone. That does also mean that a lot of these are just nature, are just the actual, just the way the mountains are. But some of them were by design. Some were kind of the remnants of quarries or mines, and looking for any sign of those. In the distance, kind of a little off the track, a little off the direction you were going, you've found an entrance to a network of tunnels that will eventually connect up to the Feel River, but will also kind of lead you deeper into the mountains if you wish. It would take a little longer, but for the most part, they are uninhabited.
Even though it's slower, the mental math AJ is doing is, I'm thinking about that from my perspective. I don't know how slow through snow the three of us will be. You've
gathered your belongings, kind of any sort of sign of this is where we stayed, kind of buried under the snow that's falling anyway, but never hurts to, clear the space. Tunnel downwards. You're not quite sure if connected in any way to the village of Noise, but there are remnants of a mining operation here. Very, very old. They look completely untouched. It's kind of hard to keep track of time. And again, the pair of them are at each other, and that is starting, that draws up other emotions. It's they've been through so much together. Why are they like this? Why can't they operate as a team? And it started with Nate kind of like that, dripping cold water down Hephaestus' back. And then it wasn't me, it was a stalactite. And then there was a full-blown argument about stalactites and stalagmites. And nonsensical stuff. And the whole time, just Hephaestus' voice, angry, booming through the caves.
There's not much he can do to stop them fighting. He's seen it for days now. He's brought them in and he realizes the error of his ways. Now we're loud and we're definitely here. So AJ's trying to figure out a way. There's two ways to traverse in his mind: stealthily, quietly, or so effing loud that everything else avoids you. And he turns around in giant, says, "Will you two shut the fuck up for one moment so I can hear myself think?" But booming in the most giant, aggressive, monstrous tone. And the moment that echo stops, he goes, "Okay, so I didn't actually mean that. I was just trying to make a lot of noise, but it sounded aggressive and it sounded good. So if you're going to argue, sound monstrous. And actually, funny enough, I think you'll find it's kind of funny and you'll get on a little bit better. So be your monstrous selves and argue. But the more monstrous you can be, you might realize how silly the things you're arguing are."
So, just for the record, this is like an above table thing, but I'm going to keep it in because I think it's important. Earlier on, I had asked Sam and Amber to roll D20s just based on what you were doing and bringing in, how, with no skill checks, just sort of, because again, they're not in the room. We're doing this as a solo session. But how they react to this. Sam had rolled a 19. That was to do with the Song of the Mountain. That was a really nice, wonderful moment. The 18 that Hephaestus rolled, she hadn't a clue what you said in Giantish, but she heard her name, and then you've just been calling her monstrous, and all she's heard is, "I'm a monster, oh, I'm a monster," and she just starts roaring, and the odd eldritch blast goes flying off, sort of just, and you kind of have to duck. It's shot at you, it wouldn't be an accurate description, shot in your direction, slightly over you or to the left of you, but and then a few are shot back at Nate, and the tunnels are just illuminated in, at first, black and blue flashes of fire, and then it is just this golden red and orange flames that kind of are flickering up. She's illuminating the cave. And you do see, as she does, shadows cast along, and all manner of beastie and everything else running for the safety of the hills. It's probably safer out in the blizzard overhead than it is near this thing known only as an Hephaestus.
This is the fastest I've seen Hephaestus move in quite some time. And I think AJ spots an opportunity and says, "If you're going to hit me, try hit me." And he starts picking up the pace and running and dodging, making a game out of this in a way that just antagonizes this bulldozer.
God, I can't wait for him to hear how patronizing this is.
Yeah, I know. But he sees
I
that it's
spy with my little eye, a stupid bitch.
Keep going. Well, hit me. Might as well put his hand on his nose and go.
You feel the ground tremble underfoot, and at first it does just feel like, because it's Hephaestus storming towards you, her heavy boots, and then you quickly realize, oh look, she's terrifying and all, but she's not terrifying enough to make the entire cave tremble. And as you round the corner, you hear it sort of underneath her potty mouth, the river, and it is rushing past, and there is a clear path here, and you see sort of strung along the riverbank here, like about 14-inch thick, heavy, wet rope and little platforms that, again, miners would be using to traverse the river, carrying goods, carrying supplies, carrying people. You have found a potential shortcut.
Nice. Yeah, thanks, Hephaestus. Wow, Amber's rogue saved the day and she's not even here.
It's kind of fitting, really. She'll be sitting at the table in about an hour and watch that fuck it up. The three of you clamber onto just, again, it's... Thank God there's no such thing as health and safety legislation when operating a mine in the Underdark. There will be in the next campaign. But it's rickety and it's potentially hazardous, but I'm going to ask you for a roll.
Yes.
I'm going to give you an athletics check at advantage only because Hephaestus and Nate are helping.
Cool. I'm going to roll the dice you gave me. For the first one.
Loaded ones. Okay.
The loaded ones. Just to see if you fucked me. It's a 2, so I'm going to roll my dice. That's just, at least the advantage is there. I'm never touching them again. I know. That's not a 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not, because you are pulling upstream. Like, so you're pulling against the river and again, there's a tiredness. You don't quite make it to the next platform, like the next kind of drop point for these, and seeing yourselves kind of the energy kind of draining out of each other. It is one of those things that we just hop off here, and you can follow the bank up along, but you also need to rest now. And again, this is a mine. There are small kind of buildings that people would be like, miners would be using for rest. Where you are deeper into the tunnels now, it wouldn't make sense to leave after a shift and then have to traipse all the way back because the time spent traveling in and out. Again, it's not that they're particularly lavish, but at least there's a little more comfort than sleeping out under the sky and in the elements. It's still cold and it's difficult to light a fire, but as the night rolls in, you find your way back to Dream.
Cool. I think getting to grips with this place, AJ is a little determined. Not so much that he affects it with his will, but what's kind of going through his head. Sorry, I jotted this down to make sure I remembered it correctly. It's these last couple of days, this unknown territory of Dream and this very familiar territory of the Dragon's Back Mountains. He is thinking about who he is and what he does. And he's noticed that when he tried to force his will on Nate and Hephaestus, it didn't work. But when he leaned into Nate's skills, it did. And when he leaned into Hephaestus,
her blind rage,
that worked. And he's thinking, he is a soldier. He is the very definition of a pawn in someone else's game. And he doesn't feel cut out for all of this. But on top of being a soldier, he is a fighter. He is filled with a sort of optimistic stubbornness. He's filled with the trials that a life without Marigold openly present. The things he thinks about that he suffered through, that she could have protected him from, that the king could have protected him from. And he had a nice life, but he still grew up in the Temple of Brogue. He still grew up alone. He still grew up under the pressures of wanting to do well in the Galeshire Academy, but he wasn't trying to do well for his... there was no parents to tell him to get good grades. And yet, in his heart, he thought if he did well enough, they might turn up.
Give me a wisdom saving throw, please.
Here we go. Natural 20.
These thoughts, these sort of introspective whispers that they're not even at the edge of your mind, they're very much pulled around you. You find yourself sort of drifting through them. Again, out of the corner of your eye, you see this shadow, this entity. And being in this space now a couple of times, you feel more in control. It's like you have a handle on dreaming, and not in the way, it's more than just a lucid dream where, I want to fly, so I start flying. It kind of feels like you can mold it a little bit more than that. And you do find yourself turning, and when you do, you see this thing try to move out of the line of your sight. You see it. It is this monstrous shadow dressed in the visage of a human, or something that's trying to look human. You see this elongated neck and these long arms, half kind of crouched down, waiting. And there is just its jaw drooping. And there's something for a moment that, as the shadows sort of drift away from it, and it kind of comes into the light, there's something vaguely familiar kind of about it, and it reminds you of the monster under your bed. It reminds you of Marigold. And it lets out a breath, and it just dissolves into the air.
That's always been there in the back of my mind.
As this thing sort of just vanishes, you are standing in the dormitory in the Temple of Brogue, and there are just children asleep in their cots all around you.
I think AJ realizes he wasn't sure of how he would feel when Marigold told him the truth for the first time, or at least as he knows, for the first time. And at that time, he was very kind of just took it as is, as you do in dreams. Something shocking happens, but it's just reality now. And I think over the last couple of days, seeing Nate and Hephaestus argue, seeing the baggage, the literal weight of that has slowed them down, I think he assumed he would hold resentment for Marigold. But he doesn't, because if it wasn't for all that she put him through, he wouldn't know just how capable he is to turn and face that demon. And it settles in him. He is a soldier, yes, but that's a title. He is a fighter, for sure, but that's skills he's built over his life. From the day he was born until the day he dies, he will be a dreamer.
You hear, again, it's the bed creaks behind you.
I just turn.
You see yourself about 4 or 5 years old. And you sort of scoop under the bed. It's that thing of like, I'm just gonna double check. And when you do, on the other side, you just see a pair of boots and a long gown.
So I'll pop back up. Is it only under the bed that they're there?
Marigold,
Yeah.
is set on the edge of the bed. You were looking for me.
Yeah,
I told you not to come here again.
I know, but I am my mother's son.
No, you're not.
AJ points to the boy in the bed. This is how you see me.
This isn't my dream. It's yours.
This is how I want you to see me.
A tool.
Yeah. A tool. Until you crafted. A tool you shaped. A tool you raised.
Excuse me. I didn't raise you. I dragged you. I molded you, yes. I intended to shape you into a blade. So powerful it could cut this kingdom in half. And look at you now. Dull, blunt, chipped, useless.
You know, back when I was in the academy, our captain would tell us to maintain our weapons and that it's a poor craftsman who blames his tools.
There are many people responsible for the man that you have become, Aegelius Steel. If you were my son, if I were the craftsman, I guarantee you wouldn't be cowering in the dark, crawled up in a hole.
AJ sits at the edge of the bed and he taps the thin covers and invites her to sit. This is my dream. A poor host doesn't present a feast. So sit, feed, dine, indulge.
In what?
In me.
I have no need, want, or desire to indulge in the piss poor offerings of a failure.
That's what I don't get, Mom. That's what I don't get.
You see her shift.
I don't understand why you're so angry at me. I don't get why you think... I fully understand why you think I'm a failure. I don't get why you think you are. I don't know what you were planning. I don't know your grand schemes. I don't know the scope of your ability. But you called me a tool that could cut a kingdom in two. I see a headless realm. I see a mountain range. I see your plan coming to fruition. So why do you feel like you haven't gotten what you wanted? What could I have done differently to give you what you wanted? Because you dreamed of me before you made me.
Give me a wisdom saving throw.
Here we go. That is an unnatural 20.
As you say this, as you sort of push back against her, she's still not sitting.
Mm-hmm.
She's standing at the edge of the bed looking down on you, both of you, both versions of you. Your words kind of bounce around the dormitory. You dreamed of me. the wall behind Marigold cracks, and you see the stone turn inward, and vines and branches and decaying soil fill the space, and there is just a swirling dark beyond a passageway. And you hear the cries of a newborn baby. I did not dream you. I dreamt of what you could do for me. Do not confuse those two things.
Why did you... AJ's trying to... It's the first time he speaks fast and he asks questions and he sort of pokes at hags when he's been here before. But I think for the first time, and Ben as a player doesn't believe this, but I think he believes that it's like, this is the first time he's ever felt like he's had an upper hand somewhere. He's like, oh, holy crap. And he's trying to find a way to ask her. And he goes, why do you feel like they're two different things? You deserve the tools you make. You deserve the plans that you've put together. And that is not exclusive to deserving someone alongside you to help you. I don't know what you wanted me to do. I don't know why you kept yourself secret from me for all this time. I don't know why you killed King Dreyfus. And I don't know why you think you're evil or bad or alone or not deserving of love. I know you don't think you're my mom.
Her form just rots away, and the pruned, maintained image of Lady Marigold Wolver III just decays into the skeletal, monstrous entity of a night hag. And you see just her body shifts, like it seems to react to what you are saying.
Mm-hmm.
I have not come here to be pitied by you, by a waste of time and energy. I came to tell you, remind you, if you wish to see her live, turn Rich back.
AJ thinks to himself, she said she didn't come here, which is true. She found herself here, and I think she's annoyed by that. If Ridge is in danger, if Via is in danger, of course I will. Not because you asked. Because I don't want them to come to harm. And if your plan, whatever you're planning, causes that, then of course I'll turn him back. I don't know where he is. I don't know where Via is. But I know she's here somewhere. I know wherever she could be, wherever it is in this world, here she dreams of Avesta and of Nate. She dreams of me, I hope. as I dream of her. She is like a dream, burning bright, and that is the beacon I will follow to find her. And if Ridge is nearby, I will send him back. I can tell you don't want to be here anymore. I'm going to stay. I'm going to think of how I let you down. You're never going to tell me, but I do want to know. Why aren't you proud of me?
She leans down over little AJ. And you see the dark beads that sit deep within her skull, her eyes. Just look downward. I should have killed you. And she vanishes.
Mm-hmm.
You alright?
Yeah, totally fine. Yeah.
And it's just you in the dormitory of the Temple of Brogue in Galeshire. The passageway that opened behind her is still there.
Yeah, let's walk in. But before I do, I'm just going to take the blankets around this kid, so them tuck him in tight.
I thought, take the blankets. It's going to be cold in there.
It's going to be so cold. You don't need this. You're a dream. Yeah. Dream up more blankets, kid. Yeah. It'll harden you up.
You need to
give him a little dig.
Your mom's mean.
Yeah, I'll suck him in a little bit. And I'll take a little carving that sits by his bedside table of a small, it's like it doesn't even look anything like this, but to a kid's imagination it does. A small little bird. I'll just kind of tuck it in beside him. And I'll walk into... Ooh, yeah, we're here to make drama. Let's go in. Ben for a second was like, I don't want to go in here. No, let's do it. Let's walk in.
You step through the doorway, and that crying gets louder. And then there is just silence and darkness. And you hear the sound of the wind whistling across the mouth of a cave. And as your eyes adjust to the dark, you are underground. You can see a little bit of the light from the twin moons of Arcanum peering in. Not sort of spying in. And against a cold stone wall, you see something shift. There's a groaning sound. A half squashed scream. And you see woman and monster fighting, ripping in the same frame, the same body, the same. You see Marigold, woman, night hag, just scratching against the wall, clutching at her stomach. She collapses. You hear her breathing. And you see the light that sort of has crept in from the moons almost retreat. And she lets out a howl of pain that just ripples and there is just silence. And she starts to cry. Breathe. Breathe. Please. And it seems to go on for forever. This living nightmare, broken by the cries of a newborn baby. And she clutches it to her chest. She walks to the edge of the cave, child crying, her body aching, tears rolling down her face. And the light catches her, and you see the babe pressed against her. My son, this will be ours. And then her eyes lock on you. Get out!
AJ's torn between...
Roll for initiative.
Oh no! He was gonna leave!
And that's where we leave the episode.
No!
You've been listening to Romancing the Dungeon with Ben, Amber, Sam, Louise, and me, Declan, your Dungeon Master. Title card podcast artwork is by Dahi C Designs. Our theme song, Fight for Each Other, is by Stephen Tynan and Abby Soiree. If anything in this episode has affected you, please take a moment to take care of yourself. Pause, breathe, and step away if you need to. Reach out to someone you trust. Look after yourself, and thank you for being with us. We're back in 2 weeks' time for another episode. We'll see you then.